Greetings, everyone. I am Caddy Thomas. That was a little Sergio Mendes in the Brazil 66 Masculada. To start round number 20, the Brazilian Grand Prix here from Interlagos, Zenith Online Racing. Hope everyone is having a great night, and thank you for joining me. We have the racing points. First one's out tonight. It looks like Zonk Zazu, first man out of the pits, followed by his teammate Aerostrike, last week's winner, who is filling in, although because he is a reserve driver. Points unfortunately did not count, and Zoink Zazu out of the session that quickly. Oh my goodness, made that happen awfully fast. So we will hop on board with his teammate. Mario has unfinished business with Zoinks, but I don't think he'll be able to settle it here in the qualifying session as Destroyer gets disqualified from qualifying for blocking the pit lane. So already we haven't gotten the outlap in, and it has been a chaotic start to this qualifying session. So if you did not join us last week at the Circuit of the Americas, what is your problem? You should have been there. As Huff Digital wrapped up the Drivers' Championship and Red Bull wrapped up the Constructors, so expect to see some donuts. But right now, we have the racing point of Aerostrike heading into the infamous Senna S's down the hill, the right complex, and then heading to the Curva de Sol onto the Red Oposta. Red Oposta? What's the Oposta? Not Italian. Sounds like it's Italian. Into turn 4. He goes, looking pretty tidy so far. This man is always a favorite to be right up near the top. On pole, he get a nice on-board shot. Turn 6 and 7 and down into the tight right-hander of turn number 8. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce these names of the corners, as I will completely butcher them. But we shall see as he goes through Mar-a-Lago. And then through Junkao. The infamous Is That Glock corner. And on to the straightaway. You can call it a straightaway, a slight kink to the left. But let's see what kind of time he can set. Nonetheless, right to the top with a 109.9. Josherson right behind him with a 109.923. So things are very, very close. Ooh, as we have a Haas flying. Who was that? It must be Ryan in the Haas. I just saw him flying by. Let's see what kind of time Ryan was. Let's pull up some details. I got so excited to start the race. I did not pull up anything yet, so let's see what kind of time the man in the Haas can do as Doss sets the fastest lap with a 109.55 in the Renault. So times are very close at the top at this current moment. Only 4/10 separating the top 4 right now. It's still early in this qualifying, still 14 minutes to go. A lot of time left for people to improve, and we will see what is going to happen. As Ryan Junkao down the straightaway. What kind of time will Ryan set on these medium tires? And it is a 110.2. Electric Chicken coming in there with a 112.8. What else do we have going around right now? Out there in the Red Bull. He is happy to celebrate the Constructors' Championship. Let's see what kind of time the man in the Red Bull can set. And he sets a 109.6 as Stig goes to the top, just as I said it, with a 109.501. The times are just incredibly tight right now through the top 10. Let's see who else we have going around. Looks like we have Hans, 1544. Hans a bit last Thursday when I had the chance to race. And you see why I counted it. Slow as can be. I don't race much in this game anymore. It was the first 50% race I've done. And I sweated the whole time. But hey, it was enjoyable to get back out there as the Ryan gets out of the way nicely for Hans and his hot lap, and we will see what kind of time he can do. We're going to keep an eye on the times on the left as he runs wide, going through turn 11, nice through turn 12 to recover it. Let's see what kind of time the man in the Mercedes Mercedes will set. It will be invalidated. Let's see who else we have. How about the driver's champ himself, who is a cucumber, as he starts his flying lap, heading down the Red Apostle. Into turn 4, very nicely done, very easy to run a little bit wide through that corner, because quite nicely. Let's see what kind of time he will be setting this evening to the tight right-hand hairpin turn of 8. Yeah, in Reno was turn 9, I believe that's how it said. And Pico de Pato. Right there. Yeah, see, I'm good switching these names. But I like saying Junkau. Or is that Glockholm? Let's see what kind of time the man in the Red Bull will set. The driver's champ and constructor's champ. What year are we in that Red Bull is back at the top? This pup is only able to set a 112.1. Very interesting. As we have going around at the moment. Sam in the Toro Rosso. Like that helmet, it's kind of nicely with the white on the side of the car right there. Not a bad choice, sir. Not a bad choice at all. Let's see what the Toro Rosso can set. Can he pull a Pierre Gasly and get the Toro Rosso up there on the podium? Let's see what he is going to set. He stays a little bit wider. Coming through there, a lot of different lines you can choose, and he sets a 109.8. So right now, the top 8 are separated by just over 4/10 of a second. So it is extremely tight. Who else do we have going around right now? J. Mario. It's me, the Williams. As a Haas comes out of the pit, stays out of the way nicely. Heading down into turn 4 as Puff Digital. There's that true pace. First man into the 108 and 108.7. So perhaps had a bit of an issue we did not see on that first lap. He shows his true pace right there going to the top. So now it's going to create a little bit of a gap. Now just over 7/10 of a second. We shall see and challenge him as we approach the 9-minute and 30-second mark left in qualifying here. Qualifying session already about halfway through. It's hard to believe. Let's see what kind of time the man in the Williams can do. Where will he put the car today? Mario getting ready to cross the line, and it will be a 110.2. See who else we have. We have running on board Prince Ali in the Alfa Romeo. As he looks like just in second Q, getting ready to turn 8 with tight right-hander. Always a tricky corner to get. Very easy to run a little wide and start accelerating, but you can't. These things always look like eyelashes to me on the front of that car. I don't know what it is. It just has a strange little look in front of that. As he goes around Junkau, I'm going to say that corner as many times as I can because it is just a fun name to say. Interlagos, name this because it is in between laps. That is what Interlagos is. That was some GT lied to me in one of his videos. But nonetheless, Prince Ali with a 113.6. What do we have going around? The man Stig, who did hold the fastest time there, the strike goes into the 108s as well. 2/10 behind Puff Digital, so I have a little bit to play for here. So maybe Rough Crystals is right behind Stig there. So let's see what Stiggy Boy can do. We head down to the Senna S's, breaking right around the 50-meter board and keeping the lines pretty nicely. The power down as he goes through Curva del Sol and then down at the Recto Costa. The DRS open and up over 200 miles an hour, 205 to be exact right there. Turn 4, quite nice. It's a little track, to the top ahead of Digital, the man himself. Let's see what he can do. He has a Renault Diesel in front of him, so he may be able to get a little bit of tow coming down the main straight here. Let's see, the Renault pulls out of the way, so there'll be no slipstream for the McLaren man on this run, but let's see what kind of time he can post. DRS wide open as he passes the pit exit, and across the line, it's a 109.1, a 1/1000 slower than his previous lap. I saw. Let's ride on board here with the Renault of Dolphout Hoist. Can put his banana to the top of the timesheets. Chicken gets nicely out of the way there in the Williams. Car on the corner, and Doss sets a 109.0. Good enough for third at the moment. Who else do we have on board? Ginnick. Always the favorite here, of course, going on a slightly different strategy to everyone else as Digital goes by. Goes around his outlap. Who else do we have going around? We have the McLaren of Brent Crystals as his teammate gets out of the way nicely. Nice to see the respective cars getting out of the way, but not his lap has been invalidated because he's slowing down quite a bit. Right on board here with Bobby Pava and Mercedes. See if he can improve his time. Currently sitting at 10.9 that he's been running 15 at the moment. I think this lap is over this point. He has his battery down to 0, so something tells me he's not pushing it right now. And right on board here with Puff as he goes down the main straight. Let's see if he can improve on that 108.7. Yeah, 108.633. Slight improvement there. Stretches his gap at the front to just 3 tenths of barrels right in the pits. Doss is going for yet another time where he got a couple laps on these tires. The tire wear is not as big of an issue on this track. He has yet to race it, but took some experience when it comes to tire wear here. Let's see what the other Red Bull can do, and he moves up in one position. He actually ties the time of Diesel, both at 109.361. You don't see that very often. On board here with the Ferrari of Ginnick. Let's see if he can get on it. The cars are getting out of the way nicely. It's ready to go through. I'm not even going to pronounce that name. I'm just going to butcher it. Junkau! Braking board there. Braking board right next to the track is very easy. Racing. It's very important to pick out good things such as curbing or signs, light bulbs, anything else like that to pick up a braking marker. But as I was speaking, Ginnick sets a 109.33, good enough for fifth right now on medium tires. So Harry Hotspur set a 109.337. What else have we got on board with Josh Josherson here? Fun name to say. In the Toro Rosso, his teammate just in front of him at the moment by just over a tenth of a second. So let's see if Josh Josherson can improve a bit here. Get himself inside that top 10. He's actually part of my gear on myself. That was sweet. See what the Toro Rosso can do is ready to open the DRS, run to the line, open a 109, and then he moves up a couple positions with a 109.368. That does move up a little bit. We have Gruson and Haas going around on his hop. I'm trying to get everybody a little bit of screen time here if I can. It's always nice to see your setup on a stream when you watch it back, and I hope you do. Once again, I am Caddy Thomas. Again, before I've been filling in the last couple of weeks of commentary, I have an opportunity to race, and I must say I'm really enjoying this league as Wilson sets a 109.38. Good lap there by Gleason, getting himself just into the top 10. So we have going around at the moment. Pops out for another lap. If there's anybody on a hot lap right now, and with another fun name to say, oh, Chicken. Just after that 100 meter board. Down in the third gear, people taking that third, gets the bike, up into the fourth. Just after the 50 meter board, down in the fourth gear, quite tight, all the way down in the first gear for the tight right hand hairpin of turn number 8, around turn number 9, around that one here, into turn 10, the Vico de Hondo shall be named held on a corner. That's where he got punted by Mercedes. Easier to say. Getting down to the gears. Almost lost the back end there. Had to catch the car. Sorry, still on the turn. Who else do we have going around right now on a hot lap? Puff Digital, we know how fast this man is. Keep saying faster and faster time during this qualifying. Currently sitting at the top, quite 1/10 of a second between him and Dow. How Hoist looking to challenge Puff tonight. This track can be very difficult to overtake, especially around the twisty bits, so it's very important to get a good starting position. Really, the DRS is a main opportunity to make a pass out of the curve of the soul and turn 4. But yeah, I know he was redlining that gearbox, wasn't he? That's what I thought as well. Hey, luckily it's a video game and we don't pay for the gearboxes, so that's always a good thing. And that will do it for qualifying. Okay, I didn't realize qualifying was already over until I just looked up and saw the checkered flag come out, and Doc, oh, he's not going to be able to improve after that, and there goes the wheel. The wheel is coming off. Can Arrow improve? No, he cannot. Well, he improved slightly, but not enough to get up there. Let's see what Stig can do. To stay out, or no, he is going to dive into the pits. Get it now on those soft tires. It is a mad dash to the line. Let's see if anybody can top Puff Digital right now. I don't think it's going to do it. It's only good enough for 6. Sir Harry Hotspur in the Alpha. What can he do? Is it going to be enough? I don't think it is. 109.1, just good enough for 5th right now. If anybody else is out there on a hot lap, or if that is going to be it. I'm going for another lap, but I don't think it's going to be. Nope. Slowed down to save those tires. So that is going to do it for this qualifying. It is Puff Digital in the Red Bull, putting it on pole with Doff in the Renault in 2nd, Aerostrike, Racing Point in 3rd. Stig in the McLaren in 4th, Sir Harry Hotspur in the Alpha in 5th, Fizig in the other Renault in 6th, Ginnett in the Ferrari in 7th, Arbega in the Red Bull in 8th, Josh Josherson in the Toro Rosso in 9th, and Rusenkar in the Haas in 10th. That rounds out the top 10. Then we have Ryan in the other Haas in 11th, Bobby Taven, the Mercedes lining up in 12th, Sam in the other Toro Rosso in 13th, for the McLaren of Brent Crystal to line up in 14th, Mario in the Williams in 15th, followed right behind by his teammate Electric Chicken in 16th, Prince Ali in the other Alpha lining up in 7th, Zoink Zazu in 18th, and then it cut me off. But that will do it for this qualifying session. So an exciting qualifying session. We are going to take a short break. We'll round out the rest of the grid as I left off with Zoinks in the Racing Point, followed by Hans in the Mercedes and Destroyer in the Ferrari, rounding out our grid of 20 racers. So we will be taking, no, I don't want to leave the session, but we are going to be taking a quick break for about 5 minutes. So if you want to grab a drink, you grab a smoke, you got to do what you got to do. Grab a pee if you need to, but we will be back in about 5 minutes to be able to get this race started. Round number 20 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. I am Caddy Thomas. We'll see you in 5 minutes. All right, all right, all right. Caddy Damas back with you. We are going to get ready to get this race going here momentarily for the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Interlagos. A fun track to drive, a tough track to pass. It'll be really nice in future iterations of the game is on the bottom if they actually had the drivers that were participating, their car and their number. I know it's above the garage, but put it on the bottom too. That would be a nice touch, Codemasters. Codemasters, talk to me. I got lots of suggestions for you. You can make this game so much better, and I just got the message that we are getting ready to get this party started. So we shall be advancing a screen here momentarily and get ready for the formation lap. And again, I hope everyone is having a great Monday evening. Holidays approaching. Hope everyone is going to have a safe and happy holidays. Oh, Destroyer. Lag. Something about lag. Let's see what that message was. Oh, his PS4 could be a little bit slow, but yes indeed. We have the countdown timer. We are under 20 seconds to get this party started here in typical Brazilian fashion. Will we have an exciting race like the actual Brazilian Grand Prix in real life this year? If you watch that race, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't watch that race, what is wrong with you? Because that was exciting. Well, the beginning and the end was exciting. Let's hope we don't have any teammates coming together like we did in Brazil. But as we get ready to start the formation lap, we will run down the grid one more time. It is our driver's champion on pole, Puff Digital in the Red Bull, followed by the Renault of Doth Thou Hoist. Arrow strikes in the Racing Point. I almost said Force India, but I didn't catch myself. Lining up in third place, Stig in the McLaren, trying to do his best Carlos Sainz impression today and get that car on the podium. Lining up in fourth, Sir Harry Hotspur in the Alfa Romeo in fifth, Wiesig in the other Renault lining up in sixth place, Zenith in the Ferrari lining up in seventh. The other Red Bull, part of the Constructors' Champion, Arbiga, lining up in eighth. Josh Josherson in the Toro Rosso, looking to do a Pierre Gasly and get that car up there on the podium in ninth. Gruesome in the Haas, lining up in 10th, and that is his wheel. Good camera view. The other Haas, O'Brien, right behind him, lining up in 11th. Free tire choice. Looks like he is going on the hard tire. Bobby Teva in the Mercedes in 12th. Sam in the other Toro Rosso, lining up in 13th. Brent Crystals in the other McLaren in 15th. Then we have the two Williams of Mario and Electric Chicken in 15th and 16th, respectively. The other Alpha of Prince Ali in 17th. Zoink Zazu in the other Racing Point, lining up in 18th. And Hans lining up in 19th. Unfortunately, Destroyer seems to be having a bit of an issue getting back on, so that is going to be our grid. Let's pull up a little bit of information here. We'll get some tires up there, some telemetry up there, and some lap data. Looks like mostly the softs, except for Ginnett, who does love that reverse strategy. Starting on the mediums, everyone else in the top 10 on those soft tires. Ryan and Bobby Teva on the hards, Sam on the mediums, Prince Ali on the hards, and Hans on the mediums. The rest of the ones outside the top 10 starting on the softs. That is Crystals, J Mario, Electric Chicken, and Zoinks as we are getting ready to go, waiting for the lights to come on. 4 red lights, and we are off. We still don't get that 5th light. That's alright, last night I only got 3 lights. That is it is a mad dash down into turn 1. Looks like Pup is going to be able to hold on to the lead. Sir Harry Hotspur getting himself up into 3rd, though, ahead of Stig and Arrow. Got off the line a little bit slow. It looks like Arrow is going to hang around the outside of Stig back up into 4th place. They are pressuring Harry in the Alpha as we go down into turn 4. Just a mass of cars in the background. Williams running wide. I think there was Electric Chicken in the background running a bit wide. Then we have an Alpha in the background. That was Prince Ali running a bit wide. But it is Puff Digital leading the way as we have a VSC already. That did not take long. Ryan all the way back down into 19th. Sam back down there. So there might have been a bit of an issue in the background there. Thank you for sharing the stream. I'll always appreciate it. We are under VSC right now, so these guys will try to keep their tires warm. Take a quick look and see how many position changes at the front. Sir Harry Hotspur moving up 2. Brent moving up 3 along with Electric Chicken. Prince Ali Hans up 4. Ryan down 8 positions, and Sam down positions. As it looks like we are getting back to racing as Puff leads them away. I think as we have 3 yellow flags. That was quite interesting. But anyway, Puff leading the way by just under a second over Doc in the Renault, followed by Harry, and then Arrow right behind him. Not quite close enough to make a move, but right there to capitalize that there is a mistake in front of him. As you can see, these gaps are awfully close, and it looks like Josh Josherson is going to maybe get by Gruesome in the Haas. Yes, indeed, he goes down the inside of turn 5 and then hangs it around the outside of 6 and 7. That move done quite nicely, as Puff has already stretched out that gap to just over 1 second. It'd be interesting, I'm not sure with the VSC if DRS will be enabled or not after this lap is over. We shall see when they cross the line if we see that DRS is enabled. Mario up ahead of Bobby Tava in the background. Zoinks ahead of Bobby Tava as well. Ali going backwards, Mario picks up yet another spot in the background. As Arrow looks like he has gotten that move done over Harry, outbreaking a little bit into turn 1. I apologize for missing that. He's taking a sip of water, but Harry looks like he is going to be fighting back here. No DRS quite yet as he looks to the inside, but he is not quite close enough to make a move on that Racing Point just yet. There's a lot of close battles, so I don't even know where to look right now. Come on, cameraman, give me a good camera view as we have just a train of cars. That's what I'm talking about, this track. You gotta be right on the back of the car entering the DRS section in order to make a pass. You get in these little twisty bits here, and then it's going to be very tough to make a move. But Stig is just looking for a way by. Unless you're Lewis Hamilton, you just force somebody away going like Albon going around that corner. This shall be called Alex Albon corner. Going into Juncal. Can Stig get a good run down the straight? They all look like they got a pretty good exit there. In fact, Harry, I think, got a slightly better exit as he extended that gap a little bit. DRS now enabled as Puff sets the fastest lap. He stretched that gap outside the DRS range down in front. Keep an eye on this battle here. This is shaping up to be quite a battle. Ginett got those really tires up to temperature, and he is looking for a way by, pulling the Max Verstappen line around Curva de Sol. Oh, there's a little wheel-to-wheel banging as they go down the Retina Pasta. They're still side-by-side heading into turn 4. And it looks like Stig is just going to stay in front as we have a heck of a battle shaping up here for 5th, 6th, and perhaps 7th. And Dudzik in the Renault is right behind these two, waiting to capitalize on any mistakes in front of him. Right now, it is Puff Digital leading the way. Goff in 2nd, Arrow Strikes in 3rd at the moment. I'm not sure if we'll be seeing quite as many penalties as we have the last few weeks on this track. Perhaps some track extending warnings here and there, running a little bit wide, coming out of corners, but we shall see. We'll try to keep an eye out for penalties popping up, because the last few races have been decided via penalties. Order on track has not been the order at the end, as Ginett is looking to the outside going into turn 1 into the Senna S's, and it looks like he is going to get that move done. Very nice move from Ginett around the outside of Stig, who is now being pressured by Dudzik in the Renault. They both have DRS, but it is the Renault getting in front of the McLaren, so Stig going backwards a bit in this race, as it looks like Josh Josherson is pressuring Armbiga in front. See a couple of messages. Let me take a look. Get it making contact. That was surprising. Oh, the game audio is a little loud. Okay. I missed that message earlier. Let me just make a quick adjustment here. Nope, that's not the adjustment I was looking for. There we go. Turn that down a little bit. Maybe not that much. How's that? Is that any better there? I'm going to turn down the game audio just slightly. It is nice to hear the engines, but also nice to hear the commentator, I guess. As let's see, it's going to develop here on this battle. It looks like Gruesome and the Haas may have a run going down into turn 1, into the Senna S's on the Toro Rosso of Josh Josherson. He looks to the inside. I don't think he's close enough to get the move done. No, he is not. Can he get a better exit coming out of the Curva del Sol and down the Rua del Pasta? Not quite. It looks like Josh got a good enough exit there that he will, in fact, stay in front. Still looking all over the back of the Red Bull of Arbega. See what kind of other battles we have going on here, as Zenith has started to catch up to Sir Harry Hotspur in the Alpha. Such a fun name to say, that Sir Harry Hotspur. One of the most fun names. I will say that you guys do have some great PSN names. Much better. Okay. It did sound a little loud in my ear earlier, but now that that's all sorted out, let's get back to the battles on track. Let's see if any of these guys are going to be close enough to make a move coming down the straight. I don't think they are, as the cameraman wants to give me the farthest away view as possible. We are already on lap 7 of 36. That gap at the front, 1.6. We haven't seen much of that at the front because there have been so many good battles back here in the pack. As Zenith, we're getting a look behind him that is not really where I want to be looking, as he goes down the inside of Sir Harry Hotspur. Not the best camera angle for that, but we saw that Alpha at the last moment. These camera angles that they give me are less than optimal, so now Zenith looks like he is getting these medium tires up to temperature and perhaps can start making a run for a podium position. But we shall see. That gap is 2.4 seconds, so he's going to have to do some racing right now. What else do we have that's quite close? It looks like Josh is all over the back of Gruesome, who must have gotten by him at some point while I was watching that battle ahead. So let's see if the Toro Rosso can battle back as they go into Junção. Looks like the Haas locked up a little bit, ran a little bit wide. I think this is going to allow the Toro Rosso to get a good run. Might be by before the DRS is even activated. Not quite, but with the DRS help, I think the Haas in front of him does not have DRS. Stay on board, cameraman. I want to see this battle as they go down into turn 1. Not quite close enough, but I did see behind, Hans is making quite a charge here in the Mercedes, doing his best Bottas impersonation from near the back of the pack, battling his way back up just outside the points at the moment. We have a good battle going on here between Stig, Gruesome, and Josh Josherson, as Arbega has gotten by Stig. So many battles, I can't watch them all. This has been an exciting race, and this is what I really like about this league. There are some battles up and down the field. No matter where you look, there are gaps everywhere. For one man, it is tough to keep track of them all. I'm going to keep an eye out on some of these intervals, as the interval at the front is now up to 2.3 seconds between first and second. Arrow 1.8 behind Daw. Again, it not able to close up that gap. Still 2.4 seconds. D-Zig hanging within DRS range, so we'll keep an eye on that gap. And Sir Harry right behind the Renault, trying to close it up as well. But we just have some great battles here for these last few points right now. Early in the race still, so a lot can happen, but these guys are battling away. No one can quite get by because everybody is in a DRS train right now, so unable. There's a car ahead of you as DRS. It's very hard to use it to your advantage. Arbega could be the sitting duck in all this if Stig can get close enough to perhaps make a move. Looks like Harry is closing back up onto the back of D-Zig. We'll keep an eye on this battle for a moment. Trying to watch the screen and watch the timings on the left to see if we have any other battles shaping up, as it looks like Brent is getting close to Hans for the battle for 11th and 12th. Josh Josherson still behind Gruesome, who is right behind Stig, who is right behind Arbega. So some battles up and down the fields within the points here, and it could be anybody's ball game for these last few points paying positions. Right now, Puff Digital controlling this race, though. 2.6 seconds the gap. We are on lap 10 of 36. These laps go by quick. Average lap time here is just over 70 seconds during a race, so 36 laps, they go by quite quick as Josh Josherson picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Harry not quite close enough to get that move done going into turn 4 on the Renault in front of him, so he's going to have to stay behind for a little while longer. The thing, if you don't get that move done before turn 4, it's very tough to find a way by anywhere else during the second sector of this track. The tight, twisty bits are not your friend for trying to pass unless the car ahead of you makes a mistake, and we have not seen many of those. We've seen a few lockups, but nobody close enough to be able to take advantage of that. Let's see, Harry just outside of DRS range it looks like now, so he is going to lose that DRS advantage, so we'll go back to this battle here for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, as it is quite close as Arbeega trying to defend from Stig, who has a run and is looking to the outside as they head into the Senna S's. The cameraman does not want to stay on board with this. They are side by side going through the Senna S's and unable to get that move done. Good racing there by the both of them. But now Stig has another run with DRS looking down the outside. Is he going to be able to get the move done going down into turn 4? Runs a little bit wide. Arbeega has the inside line, but Stig able to get by, and now Arbeega being pressured by Gruesome in the Haas right behind him. Looked to try to take advantage of those two battling, but wasn't quite close enough to be able to make the move. So again, going to have to stick behind for just a moment. Now Stig is the man without DRS at the front as they are slowly closing that gap to Ginnett. 1.1 second, actually just over a second at the moment. Not sure if Ginnett is having an issue or if he has just turned down his battery a bit, but these guys are closing up on him quite quickly as Puff goes into the pits looking for that undercut. We'll see where he comes out. I have a feeling it's probably going to be around 11th, maybe 12th, the way these cars are all bunched together. And especially the exit of this pit lane is quite long, so it does take a minute. Well, not literally a minute, but it takes a bit to come out of that pit. And where is Puff going to come out? He is coming out of the pits right now. It looks like he may just get ahead of Hans in the Mercedes. Yes, he does. So let's see how the undercut works for him. He has quite a bit of traffic in front of him, so he is going to have to be very careful battling his way back through this traffic. Now at the front, Doth in the lead of this race, but Aero Strikes closing up to him slowly, has gotten that gap under a second as they go through. Was that Jung Kao? Yes, indeed, that was Jung Kao. A fun corner name to say. But I don't think he was within a second on the DRS detection zone. No, he does not have it, but they both stay out for another lap. So they are definitely going for the overcut this evening. We'll see how that is all going to work out. Pit strategy can be very important as Gruesome dives into the pits, perhaps taking some life out of his tires in that battle that he was in. Let's see. That moves Puff Digital up into 9th as he has closed down the gap in front of him to Josh Josherson. As it looks like Arbeega trying to look to the inside of Stig, but that move was not quite there for him to get done. He's going to have to stay behind a little bit. Now he dives to the right side, down the inside of turn 7. Not sure if he's going to be able to get that done. A little bit of a lockup. They are still side by side, I think. No, the cameraman refuses to stay on board with this battle, and yes, indeed, that is a great move by Arbeega, and good racing between the two of them, wheel to wheel. And from what I could see, from what the cameraman wanted to show me, I did not see any contact there. So some good, clean, hard racing. And forget what I said earlier about passing in Sector 2 being impossible, because he just proved it is. That was some nice racecraft by the both of them. But now Stig is going to have DRS. He's going to be able to start attacking Arbeega again, and looks like he is going to be able to get down the inside of him with no problem. Arbeega looking for the cutback, but Stig just parked that car right on the apex coming out of the Senna S's as they go around Curva de Sol. It looks like Josh Josherson possibly getting involved as he goes down the inside, but not quite close enough to get the move done. All the while, Puff has closed that gap significantly down to these guys, so he's going to have to battle his way through these guys unless they come into the pits. We'll go back up to the front for a minute. Doff leading this race, still staying out. Will he come in on this lap? Right now it's looking like at least a 2-lap undercut for Puff, unless these guys stay out for another lap. You may think that the overcut is a little more powerful, or staying out to try to clear some of the traffic. And are either of them going to come into the pits this lap? And it does not look like it. They're going to stay out for yet another lap. This will give us a good opportunity to see what's going to be more powerful here, whether it'll be the undercut or the overcut. Tends to be the undercut is a little bit more powerful as Ginnick comes into the pits on those medium tires. That is interesting. I wonder if he perhaps had a bit of wing damage or something, but seems like a very early pit stop for those medium tires as they are wearing out that quickly. He's going on to the soft, so not sure if he's going to be able to make those last to the end of the race. 22 laps. We will see if that is going to be possible or not, as a look at the gap at the front. Aerostrike has closed that gap up under 1 second. Question is, can he stay close enough to be able to pick up DRS going down the main straight? I'm not sure if he'll be able to going through this tight twisty bit. Yes, indeed, he is so far. So let's see if he's still within a second from the DRS detection zone. Maybe Dolphins' tires are starting to go a little bit. We'll see if either one of them decide to come into the pits on this lap. No, indeed, they are staying out for yet another lap. So question is now, did Puff make a mistake? Did he come into the laps a little bit too early? These guys are really making those soft tires last. All of them in the top 6 have now gone 15 laps on these soft tires. And all that means is that Puff has more traffic that he has to get through as quick as possible without these guys holding him up. Be able to keep that gap down. I'd say right now he is not going to have any trouble inheriting the lead of this race. The real question will come down to how much life will be in these tires come the end of the race. He is going to have at least tires that are 4 laps older, so it'll remain to be seen. Yeah, I don't think those softs are going to last 19 laps, but I mean, these guys are still out there and they're putting down lap times, as Aero is definitely closing that gap up to Doff. I really think that one of these guys will be coming into the pits, or will it perhaps be both of them? I have a feeling Doff will be diving into the pits this lap, and it looks like he is going to the left side of the track. And yes, indeed, they are both coming into the pit lane. Ooh, as Aero got a little bit sideways coming into the pit lane. That was a new one there, as that now inherits the lead to Dizeg, who is still yet to pit out there for 16 laps, along with Sir Harry Hotspur on these soft tires, and Stig as well on those soft tires. Josh Josherson still on the soft tires, as Puff Digital now has closed up that gap. He needs to get by these guys. Yes, saved by the game on that one, buddy. That one looked a little bit close on that. Looked like you were about to head into the wall. Ginnett setting the fastest lap of the race so far. Let's see, now Puff is behind these guys, but he is essentially the net leader of this race. And right now, it looks like his lead is actually going to be about 8 or 9 seconds once these guys actually make their pit stops and everything cycles through. We'll have to see. He has a 6-second advantage over Hans behind him, and Doff is another, not quite 3 seconds behind Hans. So now will these guys in the front come into the pits, as we have a good battle here. Are any of these guys going to go into the pits these laps? And both of them are. Sir Harry Hotspur staying out. Oh, as it looked like we lost a little bit of front wing there. Got into the back of Stig. So right now the Alfa Romeo of Sir Harry Hotspur leading this race yet to pit. Puff Digital will be the net leader of the race once the pit stops have cycled through. Hans currently running in third on old medium tires, and Doff, who is on one lap old mediums, currently in fourth. Ginnett on the fresh soft tires. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make those last, but there's a lot of things that he does in a race car that surprise me week in and week out. I keep thinking he won't make tires last, and somehow he does. But Arrow strikes right behind him, going to be pressuring the Ferrari. We're going to have a soft versus medium battle back here. I got to think that Harry will be coming into the pits this lap, which will give Puff back the lead of the race. Once Hans pits, it's looking like that. Yes, indeed, Harry comes into the pits. So Puff Digital will re-inherit the lead of the race. Started on pole, got away nicely, and has controlled this race since lap number 1. Didn't get held up too much by traffic. In fact, that gap is actually, if anything, has increased behind him. The question will be, are Doff's tires going to be good enough to make a charge and make up that time as he looks to the inside of Hans? He gets that move done pretty easily. 2-lap old mediums versus 18-lap old mediums. That was not really too much of a battle there. Now Ginnett needs to try to find a way past Hans in order to not lose any time, and it looks like he is going down the inside, mows the grass a little bit, as it looked like Mario picked up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but Ginnett gets himself up into third place at the moment, putting a car between him and Arrows, who is making a charge towards that Ferrari. But I really think that Ginnett may have to make an additional pit stop. He may be going for the 2-stop strategy in this race. I'm not sure that those softs will last that long, and even if they do, I'm not sure he'll have a lot of life in him. Now let's see if the racing point of Arrow can make his way by. Now Puff Digital has a 9-second lead over Doff. Yes, indeed, Arrow gets by Hans quite easily. And now Doff has to put his head down, but he's got to be careful because he has a charging Ferrari and Ginnett right behind him. Let's see if Ginnett can make these soft tires last to the end. That is going to be the challenge. He's going to have to make these tires last 21 laps, which would be quite impressive. I know the fuel gets lower, as it looks like we had a red, or not a red flag, but a yellow flag back in Sector 1. Like Stig was able to get by Gruesome in the Haas, who came out on the hard tires. Not sure how good these hard tires are on this track. So we still have Ryan yet to make a pit stop, along with Sam and Bobby Tava. The only ones yet to make a pit stop. Prince Ali will be making another pit stop to get off those softs. And Zoinks back here will probably be making another pit stop as well. Mario in the Williams. I know your pain, Mario. I know your pain. Sometimes it feels like the Williams drives like an actual Williams, as we have quite a battle here, as Doff picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, as Ginnett is all over the back of him and is looking to the right side. And yes, in fact, he gets that move done pretty easily on soft tires with DRS. So now, can Doff battle back and get past the Ferrari as those tires start going off? He just needs to stay within striking distance, but this battling could allow Arrow back into the game here to battle for that last podium position. And right now, I haven't seen Arrow's name pop up on any penalties, so he just needs to stay within 3 seconds to Doff, and he could inherit third place on the podium. A man who ended up winning last week's race due to penalties. Finished second on track, but was able to be on the top step thanks to some unfortunate penalties. The last 2 weeks we've seen penalties decide the race. Let's hope that is not the case this evening. As the gap at the front now, 9.4 seconds, so Puff is just really in control of this race. Went for the undercut, and that looked like that was the one to make as long as these tires last near the end of the race, which I have a feeling they will. It's going to be very tough for the cars behind him to find the pace to get close enough and not use up their tires in the process. And I think that is what he is banking on right now. If they want to push to catch him, they are going to have to take a lot of life out of their tires, and by the time they get up to the back of them, their tires will not be good enough to be able to make a pass. Han's still out here, still running around on those medium tires since the start of the race. I have a feeling he'll be coming in within the next lap or two, put on a fresh set of softs and take those to the end, and we could see Hans making a charge in that Mercedes. See how many positions Hans is up, because he started near the back of the pack. Yes, he's up 13 positions right now. That'll go down once he makes his pit stop, but still, so far a good race from the man in the Mercedes. And once he goes into the pits and comes out, we'll see, as yes indeed it looked like he was diving to the left, and into the pits he goes. So let's see where the man in the Mercedes comes out. Excuse me. On fresh soft tires, I have a feeling. We'll see if he can be able to make a move. As I was watching, going to look for the battle here between Arbega, Stig, and Gruesome. This battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th right now. The Red Bull pressuring the Haas in front of them. Let's go back to the tires, and yes, Gruesome on those hard tires, which are 2 laps older than Biga's mediums. So let's see if Biga can use these mediums to his advantage and get past the Haas and start battling with the McLaren in front of him. And looks to the outside briefly. I think that wasn't quite a move he was going to try, but not really a place to make a move, as we have a brief yellow flag in Sector 3. Gruesome locks up a bit in the Haas as the yellow flag quickly goes away, so no big deal there. But let's see if Biga can get the run down the straight with DRS, as Gruesome has gotten out of DRS range to Stig in front of him, so he could be a sitting duck on this straightaway if Biga can get a good enough run, but it does not look like he is going to be close enough. But all I can see is his mirror. Thank you very much, cameraman. A different view would be much appreciated right now. Yeah, thank you. That view was not doing me any favors. I don't want to see, there's nothing in his mirror right now, because Josh Josherson behind him in the Toro Rosso is about 10 seconds behind. We'll see, Hans came out in 11th right now, about 7.5 seconds behind the Toro Rosso of Josh Josherson. So we're going to keep an eye on that gap and see if he can close that gap up and perhaps make a move into the points on those fresh soft tires, as Puff Digital goes in for another pit stop. I missed that for a moment while I was watching the other battles. So we've seen he has a lot of pace around here. He's already wrapped up the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship, so perhaps he's going to try to have a little fun and kind of the Lewis Hamilton devil may care attitude as you go into the last few races, as long as he doesn't take someone out as they go through Alex Albon corner. It looks like he is going to get the move done on Stig, and then he is going to try to set his sights on the Alfa Romeo of Sir Harry Hotspur, who has closed up to Dzig, who is currently in 3rd in the Renault at the moment. So 2 Renaults on the podium as it stands right now. The question is, were those medium tires really wearing down that fast, or was this Puff strategy all along to go for a two-stop, as Brent Crystals picks up a 3-second penalty. I haven't seen too many of the top runners, with the exception of Doff, pick up a penalty right now, but if we have a brief moment, we will check the race director. There are so many battles up and down the field, though, it is hard to take a moment and want to pause to look, because you watch one battle and another battle forms, as Electric Chicken picks up a 3-second penalty. We'll keep an eye on some of these battles, and we'll see if Puff can close up this gap to the Alfa Romeo, as this battle behind him is really starting to heat up. Gruesome looks like he is... Ooh, what happened to Puff Digital? What happened? What what just happened? I'm very confused as to what happened. This car just vanished. I'm speechless for a moment. I'm very... He disconnect? I mean, it seemed like I'd be able to see his ghost car. I'm very confused. I don't know what happened. I have to watch that back later and see what happened to Puff's car. That was fascinating. I'm speechless for a moment. I'm sorry, I have to compose myself here because I'm just... The man who was leading this race, he's out. We'll wait for word from Puff in the chat to see exactly what happened there. Because he is all the way back down to 20th. I mean, I blinked for a split second. What did I miss? The thing about these races, the battles are so close, you blink and you missed it. Very, very interesting turn of events here as this race has been turned on its head. Just like the real-life Brazilian Grand Prix, so stay tuned. I mean, we still have 10 laps to go, so who knows what is going to happen in this race right now. As the front runner, Puff Digital, out of this race. Not sure exactly what happened. I don't really know. We will find out, I am sure, but right now for that last podium position, we have Sir Harry Hotspur in the Alpha, getting closer and closer to the Renault of Dizeg, who loses it, coming around Alex Albon corner. And that promotes Harry up into a podium position, as Dizeg might have gotten on the loud pedal just a hair too early while still on the curbs. And oh, he binned it. I didn't even see that. Oh, that is just unfortunate. So we have a Doth fan in the house now as he is pulling for the Renault. Well, the Renault needs to pull out a little bit more of a gap because he has a 3-second penalty. So he is going to have to pull out another second on Arrow in order to claim the victory here. As we have Sir Harry Hotspur in third at the moment as Dizeg goes into the pits. I'm sure he got those tires a little bit too hot, as this race has just been turned on its head. So now the question is, can Doth stretch that gap out in the remaining laps in order to stay in first after he has a 3-second penalty? I haven't seen any penalty for Arrow, but I'm almost afraid to hit the race director right now and see what's going on, because action is happening so fast and furious up and down this field. As Gruesome is really making these hard tires work. I wasn't sure about the hard tires, whether they would have any kind of speed on them, but he is making these work as this battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th right now, actually, excuse me, 4th, 5th, and 6th is really heating up here in the latter stages of this race. Red Bull of Arbeega not quite close enough again to make a move. It looked like Gruesome was looking perhaps to the outside on Stig, but not quite close enough to get it done. I'm going to try to keep an eye on penalties as Doth is pulling out a bit of a gap to Arrow Stripe. Take a look at these two and see how we're looking. As, yeah, I had a feeling Arrow would be on a 0 battery right now, probably trying to save some battery to make a charge near the end, but Doth has the same idea, as he just needs to keep stretching that gap out, as Gruesome, has a spin. Was that coming out of turn 4, it looks like. I'm not sure if there was contact or what happened back there. I was riding on board with the leaders for a moment, but that allows Bicca to get through, and he is now in 5th place, trying to catch back up to the McLaren in front of him. Stig still has a chance to pull off the Carlos Sainz and get that McLaren onto the podium. It's going to take a heck of a drive. 11 seconds down on Sir Harry in the Alpha right now, so barring any penalties, we could have a Renault on the top step, a Racing Point in second, and an Alpha in third. But Doth still needs to keep that gap. He needs to get that gap to 3 seconds, and right now it is just over 2. So Arrow looked like he was saving a bit of battery, still is through this section, probably Getting it down in this section and cranking it up on the straights. Needs to keep that gap under 3 seconds if he wants to claim the victory this evening, as he's gotten down under 2 seconds at the moment. So Doth is going to have to do some racing here in order to preserve the victory, as Ginett, who had made another stop for a fresh set of soft tires, is now battling Hans, who has worked his way back up into 7th place. So that is 12 places for the man in the Mercedes right now. He has really worked his way up the grid very nicely. So let's see how he handles the pressure from the Ferrari behind, who has closed that gap up under a second. And can Ginett use DRS to his advantage and get by before they head into turn 1 and the Senna S's? Let's see. We're going to take a look at his wing. Apparently that's what the cameraman feels is the most important thing to look at. God forbid. Yep. As he does, in fact, use DRS to his advantage to get by Hans. Thank you, cameraman, for that great view. You're doing me a lot of favors on that. Appreciate it. As Biga has now closed that gap up under a second to stick in front of him. So the Red Bull, even though they have the Constructors won, he's looking for some more points, trying to get his way up into 4th. Let's see if he can close that gap up as Zoinks picks up another penalty. Trying to keep an eye to see if I see any of the leaders picking up a penalty at this point. The only one I've seen is Doth. I have not seen a penalty from Aerostrike quite yet. As come on, Biga, you got your teammate rooting for you, so show him what you're made of here. Let's get by that McLaren. And up into 4th place perhaps, but still not quite close enough. Getting into turn 1 as they approach a lapped car. It looks like that is Zoinks in the racing point. As Prince Ali has retired from the session, Zoinks gets over to the side, but a lapped car gave Stig DRS, so it kind of negated the advantage that Biga had. He's going to have to stay behind for another lap, as Aerostrike has really closed that gap up in front to Doth. He has closed up a second on him in the last few laps, so he is only 1.2 seconds behind the Renault, almost within DRS range, and perhaps going to try to make a run at him. And somehow Aero very good at managing his battery, actually a lot more battery than Doth does to attack, so this could be a very interesting end to the race here. Just like the real life Brazilian Grand Prix, we are in for an exciting one. As Biga, once again, he is all over the back of that McLaren, and I think this time he may be close enough to make a move. He might get it done before the DRS. Stay on board, cameraman. I want to see this battle, as in fact it looks like Biga going to the inside, going to get that move done quite easily. A penalty for Sam. Just trying to keep an eye out in case we see any of the top runners pick up a penalty. I perhaps should get my Stella out of the way, and you might be able to see it a little bit better on the bottom of the screen. It's not hard to see through an empty glass, but let's see if Biga can now hold on to 4th place. I'm going to keep an eye, though, as we're on lap 33 of 36. Where has the time gone in this race? It's hard to believe we are almost at the end of it. Only 2 DNFs right now, Prince Ali and Puff Digital. The only 2 DNFs at this point in the race. We still have 17 runners. So let's see, can Aerostrike get close enough to use DRS, but still he is outside that gap at the moment. Still has a good amount of battery left, as Doth has been using some battery up in order to stay in front. So we really see an interesting tactic here if Aero can save battery and really make a charge in the remaining 3 laps as they head down the Retta de Pasta. Retta o Pasta. It sounds more Italian than it does Brazilian, but who am I to judge what you name straight? As Biga picks up a 3-second penalty, I wonder if that will have any effect on his position at the end. That will remain to be seen. I just don't want to look at the race director right now because there's just too much action in these closing laps. Got to stay on board with what we got. I'm going to keep an eye on the gaps down the field. Right now, it looks like Biga's pulling out a gap large enough to keep Stig out of DRS range. See anyone else close enough for a close battle at the moment, so we're just going to stay on board here with the top two and see what happens. And Doff pull out the win, or will it be Aerostrikes finishing second on track, but first again 2 weeks in a row? It remains to be seen. 2 laps to go here at Interlagos, round number 20. Zenith Online Racing. This has been an exciting race from start to finish. I gotta say, I really enjoy commentating on this league because the battles just happen up and down the field. You don't know where to watch next because there's so much action happening, and the racers are very respectful for the most part. See a lot of good close wheel-to-wheel battles without a lot of big incidents. And oh, as I see this gap between Stig and Bigga right now as they head into turn 4 and 5, but Stig not quite close enough to be able to get the move done. As now Harrow, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, we got a battle down there for 4th and 5th, and we have a battle right now for the lead of the race. Got to stay on board with this battle, as it is the one that matters the most, as Arrow is now within DRS range. And is he going to be able to make a move on the Renault? He still has a decent amount of battery. He goes to the inside of Doff. Is he going to be able to get the move done very easily? Well ahead going into the braking zone. Doff trying to take a slightly wider line and get a little bit of speed as they come through the Curva de Sol and down the Reta Aposta for one last time. This is the final lap of this race, and it has been exciting. Is the Renault going to be able to make a charge, stay close enough to perhaps get a run up to the line? Could we see a Lewis Hamilton and Pierre Gasly type situation with a race to the line and a close finish, as Stig is right behind R Bigot as well? Boy, we have so many battles going on. We're going to stay on board. No Alex Albon incident going around Albon corner as they come through the last few corners, getting ready to go by Junção for one last time, and I think it's going to be Aerostrikes. I don't think Doff is close enough to be able to make a run to the line, and it looks indeed like it will be the Racing Point of Aerostrikes coming home for the victory here in round number 20 at the Brazilian Grand Prix, with Doff in second. Looks like Sir Harry Hotspur is going to cross the line for third. Stig just getting by. Oh, what happened to Bigga? He went a little bit wide there. Saw it in the background. That is going to promote Stig up into fourth and get it up into fifth. And Bigga going to cross the line for sixth. I just caught that in the background as I was flipping over. Great race from Hans as he has moved up. But Josh Josherson getting up into seventh at the end after penalties applied. So Hans finishes eighth. It looks like Dizig, who was on for a podium at one point before losing the back end, coming home in actually all the way down into 12th. That promotes Ryan Gruesome and Ryan up into 9th and 10th. So a couple points for the Haas boys to pick it up. Brent Crystal's in 11th, just outside the points. And then Dizig, Bobby Tava, looks like Electric Chicken in the Williams, going to come home in 14th. Sam will cross the line in 15th, and Mario crossing the line in 16th. What a great race here at Interlagos for round number 20, Zenith Online Racing. This has been an exciting race. I hope you've enjoyed it, watching it as much as I've enjoyed commentating this race, because it is Aerostrikes standing on the top step of the podium in the Racing Point for the victory, with Doff Thou Hoist coming in second in the Renault, and Sir Harry Hotspur finishing on the podium in third for Alfa Romeo. As they celebrate on the podium, this has been a fantastic race. As we will run down the grid one last time before we leave you for this evening. Once again, great racing up and down the field here tonight. These laps flew right by. Aerostrike in the Racing Point coming home in first. Doff Thou Hoist in the Renault in second. Sir Harry Hotspur in the Alfa in third. Stig in the McLaren in fourth. Ginnett in the Ferrari in fifth. R Biga in the Red Bull in 6th. Josh Josherson in the Toro Rosso coming home in 7th. Hans in the Mercedes in 8th. Gruesome in the Haas in 9th. Ryan right behind him, his teammate, in 10th. Brent Crystals, D-Zig, Bobby Tava, Electric Chicken, Sam, J. Mario, Zoink Zazu, Prince Ali, and Puff Digital rounding out just outside the top 10. I have been Caddy Damas, and this has been round number 20 Zenith Online Racing here at Interlagos, the Brazilian Grand Prix, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. We will see you for Abu Dhabi.